Welcome to the Market Profile Overview recording. In this recording, I will cover how to get around and manipulate your market profile chart so that you can customize it in the way that you would want so that you could interact with it and view the charts in whatever manner you'd like. So the first thing I want to do is show you how to bring up this info box on the left-hand side. If it's not showing, press the Tab key on your keyboard. If it is showing and you want to turn it off, just press the Tab key again. So Tab will toggle that on or off. The next thing that you may want to know how to do is to specify or at least understand what session you're looking at on your chart. And once you have this toggled on, you can access the preferences for the chart by clicking the More button. Now another way to access this is to just double click the chart anywhere, and that would open up the Preferences menu. If we click the Profiles tab, you can see the Session Override, and selecting from the drop down you can specify which session you want the market profiles to adhere to. If you wanted 24 hours, you could either select the 24-hour session override or just uncheck this button. If you needed to create a new session, just click here, click New, and specify the session, that's session times. All these various details can be looked up in our knowledge base by just typing the keywords new session or session, and you'll be able to find more specific instructions on how to accomplish these things if you would like. If you were trading stocks, you would most likely have the day session here, session 0, US stocks. And you can see mine says all these times are Central or Chicago times. Yours will show your local time. All the statistics that you see here are dynamic. As I move the cursor around and move over a particular profile or particular letter within the profile, you'll notice that the statistics over on the left in the info box will show that information accordingly. So they're showing a profile statistics and they're showing down by the letter, and it breaks it down accordingly. So you just hover over. It also shows by price. The next thing let's move on to the buttons. And the first thing you probably see is various colors. Any button that's colored yellow opens another menu. So again, if we click More, you can see it opens up the Preferences menu. Any button that's shaded red simply means that it's turned off, that option is turned off. If it's shaded green, that means that the option is turned on. If it's shaded blue, that means it's at least a three-way toggle. So if you just keep clicking it, for instance, if I keep clicking these letters, the color, I'll click color, you can see it toggles through the various colors that you could assign the TPOs or the letters. There's lots of right-click functionality on the charts as well. If you get stuck at any point, you can always right-click and you'll find a variety of menu options that will probably will help out in some way or another. Okay, so let's go ahead and start here. If you want to change the symbol, you just click Sim. You can select the symbol from the list. Just double-click the symbol, and once you do, for instance, I'll choose the XLF. And when you change it, if the display format doesn't look correct, just double-click the chart, and it's most likely has to do with what you've assigned the price range of each row. I'll set it to automatic. That'll show me every penny. And I'll go back to that custom range and change it to the CL. Ref just toggles reference lines. For instance, if I double click a price and added a reference line, if I were to click the ref, it'll toggle them off or on. Or you can just double click the price to remove a particular one. Those are also detailed in the Preferences menu under the Lines tab. The color button, as you saw, just toggles back and forth through the various letter colors. BG is the background color. That'll change the background to shade it accordingly through the different colors that are available. And you can set that independently under the preferences window as well. GRD is the grid. That'll toggle on or the grid on or off. There it is, off. There it is, on. The plus or minus buttons, I skipped over those. Those are a quick way to zoom in or out. So if I click the plus, it'll zoom in. If I click the minus, it'll zoom out. And eventually, when you zoom out to a certain point, it'll turn them to blocks, very small blocks. And the block button right here turns it to a block format in whatever size you're looking at. IB toggles the initial balance. You can see that I have the initial balance shown as a blue bar with lines extending. By clicking IB, or initial balance, that toggles that off or on. Remember, you can always look at these and tell whether it's shaded green or red as to whether it's on or off. OR is opening range. That will throw the opening range on the chart. So if I click it again, you can see it's the little brown area that highlights within the initial balance. Singles, that's single prints. There's really none over here, but you can see there's a few that extended from back a few days ago. Here they are right here. So it extends a line for single prints. POC would be the high TPO count price. So if we scroll back over, you can see it puts a little greater than sign. POC vol, you can see it puts a little mark showing where the high volume price was. Now you can see that pretty clearly when you have the volume distribution shown. But if you had these turned off, this little mark would show you what price is the high volume price. VA is the value area. So you can see that shows up in green. I have two value areas showing right now. You can see I have the value area and the volume-based value area. I have them both turned on, which is why you see one in green, one in black. Those colors can be specified in the Preferences menu. I'm going to now turn off the value area based on volume. And now we're just looking at the value area. SP will split the profiles, and it splits them all. Notice it splits them bracket by bracket. I can take that off. SC changes the price scale from left to right to both. VO changes how the volume distribution is displayed. So there it takes it off. This is an overlay, and then this puts it side by side. LI changes how the lines are displayed. So you can see right now they're bars. If I click, it'll toggle the bars left or right, and then it'll toggle the lines, and then lines with the current values displayed. These buttons here are for a playback, and this playback only controls this chart. So this one will start the playback at the beginning of the current session, or at least the current profile that you have displayed on the chart. So if you have the last 10 days, it would begin on that first day, 10 days back, and begin playing it forward. And you can control the playback using these using these here. The speed of the playback can be controlled under the options menu right here. Playback rate, so that it can play back fast if you would like it to be playing back at a very fast rate, which is very helpful to kind of get an idea of how it developed. Another playback is under File, Playback, and this is more of a global playback. For these options, please refer to the knowledge base for more information on those. Now, a couple things that are real common among our users that you'll want to understand how to do will be to look at composite profiles. If I double click the chart and click the Profiles tab, let's say that I wanted to look at just a weekly profile. To do that, go into the Profiles tab, do Special Duration, and just choose this, Weekly. Now notice it now says Show 10 profiles ending now. It's basically going to show me 10 weekly profiles. If I click OK, it go ahead and builds these for me. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change the price scale to every maybe 50 cents. Not knowing if that would be good, but this is good. This is good enough. So it began at the beginning of the week here. This is this week's profile, last week's, and so on and so forth. If I wanted to do the same thing for a monthly profile, it's real simple. Just click monthly. Maybe I only want to see the last 5 months. Click OK. Now notice how the data, it's not showing. If it doesn't, when you do that, click the scaling in the upper right hand corner. If I click that, it changes it to an automatic scaling, and now I can see my monthly profiles, and I can scroll back in time to see what they look like. So that gets you started. You can see there are a few more options, and there's going to be a few more added that aren't listed right here. They'll be added very soon. Another option that many of our users like to do, and this I would recommend looking at our knowledge base, but they like splitting the overnight session from the day session. And in order to do that, I would recommend going to our knowledge base and just typing overnight splits or split profile, and there'll be some FAQs on how to do that. You can also go to our blog, and on our blog it'll show you how to do that. Just type in split profiles, and I believe there's a video and a how-to on how to accomplish that. Now another thing, if you want to do some custom merges, let's say I want to see this, here's today, but I want to merge yesterday and the previous day because they basically were trading within the same range. I want to make this one profile. You can right-click this profile, right-click the one to the left, and say Merge Profile Right. What it does, it pushes it right and creates one profile. And if I wanted to split that out, I could right-click and say Toggle splits this profile. It's at the bottom. And a quick way to do the splits for the various profiles is to hold the Shift key down, Shift, and then left click. Shift, left click. That turns it on or off. All right, that's it for the Market Delta overview. Okay, that's it for the Market Delta overview video. Hopefully you found this video helpful. For more details on the specific preferences for the market profile chart, please refer to the Market Profile Preferences video. Thanks for watching, and make a great day.